What is going on, everybody? My name is Devlin, and you guessed it, I'm not dead. I am on a diet though, so sometimes I kind of wish maybe I was dead, but that's another topic for another time that I probably won't tell, because this is first and foremost a video game channel. If you want to see stuff to do with weight loss and fitness, check out my other channel, Evolve Now Fitness. A bit of a shameless plug there. Sorry, what are you gonna do? I network with myself because I'm not cool enough to have other friends to network with. So you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta make do with what you got. What I have for you today is something completely out of the blue. A lot of you probably didn't even know that I was still alive, and there's probably a lot of you who are subbed to me from way back in the day, years ago, when I made Call of Duty video game videos and Call of Duty commentaries, and that was my bread and butter. And I would imagine that the remaining subs that I have, all I think like 515 of you, are from that time. And one of two things is probably happening right now. Thing one is that you go, oh shit, I remember this guy. He's making a Fortnite video. That's kind of cool. I like that game. Maybe I'll give this a listen and see if it's something I'm interested in. And if so, fantastic. That's great. I'm glad to have you sticking around and checking this video out. I'm super excited. The second possibility is that you probably don't even remember who I am, didn't even know you were subbed to me, and this popping up in your subscription box, if you even see it, is probably just a little reminder that, hey, this is some dude I don't even know and I don't remember, so I'm probably just going to unsub him, which is totally fine. I understand that the YouTube landscape has evolved and changed in a lot of different ways, and if you don't remember who I am, and you're seeing just another channel jump on the Fortnite bandwagon, so to speak, quote unquote, and you're not interested, then that's totally understandable. And if you want to click off and unsubscribe, that's totally fine with me. I am far beyond the point of 20-year-old myself who is like, yeah, I'll go on YouTube and get big and famous and it'll be awesome and I'll be just like Hutch, because that's the mindset that I kind of had when I first started making videos. Even though I did actually really enjoy it, there was always that little bit of a thing where it's like the YouTube bubble hadn't really blown up and got super big, and I thought I might have a chance to make something of myself on YouTube, but those dreams are long gone. I'm just in a position right now where I've started playing Fortnite, and it's a game that really excites me the way that Call of Duty 4 used to excite me, Modern Warfare 2 used to excite me, in the first few months of the release before I went to absolute shenanigan territory. Yeah, I had my friend Josh, or Agrund, if you're familiar with the channel, you probably know who that is, convinced me that I should give this game a shot, told me it was free, and I hadn't played anything on a console or my PS4 in a long time. I have been a little bit into Blizzard games. I play Overwatch, I play Heroes of the Storm, and even those I don't play all that often. But he told me to dust off the old PS4 and give this game a shot. It had just been sitting in my room as a Netflix box, essentially. And I decided to, dust it off and get the old controller out. Dust off my headset and give it a try. And I've had... excuse me. What a person lacking professionalism. I should be taking lozenges pre-video recording so I don't have that kind of nonsense happening. I decided to give this game a shot, and lo and behold, it's super fucking fun. I'm playing a solo game right now, but I definitely prefer to play this game in either duo or squad mode. At this point in time, duo being my favorite. Josh and I play fairly often together. We've been doing... I'm not going to say we're like amazing at this game, but we win fairly consistently. And that's pretty exciting, because when I first started, I was absolute dog shit. And the idea of getting a win in this game was like some kind of fable, some kind of fairy tale that I felt like it was never going to happen. But now we're at a point where we're winning semi-consistently, which is a blessing and a curse. It's a lot of fun to play through a game and actually clinch out the win at the end. But now that we win somewhat consistently, now when you don't win, feels bad, man. That's kind of the position that he and I are sitting at. And I didn't really want it to get like that. I wanted to just keep the thrill, and if you win, it's awesome, and if you don't, then whatever, of course you don't. But we've kind of like breached into the position, probably me more so than Josh, where if we don't get the W and we finish second or third, we get real salty about it, get pretty sour for a little while, and we got to keep grinding out games until we get that win, that like little steady morphine drip that is a win in Fortnite, just to get us back to neutral. So it's not the ideal place to be, but like I said, it's a blessing and a curse, good and bad. So I guess what I'll do for this video is maybe just blend together my old style of commentary, which was sort of just talk about whatever the fuck. And also, what people used to do, which was just explain their gameplay as they're going. I did mention right away, and I'm not going to go back on that I'm not a tremendous Fortnite player. I'm not Ninja. If you're a Fortnite fan, you may have seen Ninja on YouTube. Obviously, it's a different thing because he plays on PC, and the level of gameplay you're going to see between a console player with a controller and a PC player is pretty substantial. But regardless, he is top tier, and I am not top tier. I'm probably somewhere middle tier. I'm very middling. I'm still at a point where, in a tense situation, my nerves will get the better of me. I'll get the mixed sweats going on in the palms and the fingers, the hands. I will freak out and be in a shotgun battle at the end of the game and just blatantly miss shots that I should be landing very consistently. So yeah, I'm a middling player at best, but that being said, I am still happy to sort of share my thought process during different points of the game to give you an idea of what I was thinking and why I make certain decisions when I make them. And if you're somebody who likes this game and you're new to it, or maybe you've been struggling to get that first win down, potentially things that I think and decisions that I make might be a little bit enlightening to you and might give you a perspective on the game that you hadn't quite thought of before. And if that helps you more consistently get top 25 or top 10 or even get a win or two in there that you weren't expecting to get, then that's fucking awesome. That's great. I would love to be able to do that. There's an interesting scenario right here. I knew there was someone in that house, but the fact that he was right on the other side of that wall was a bit of a surprise for me. You've seen now, this is the second fight in as many fights where I'm just kind of like spamming grenades. I normally never take grenades in this game. I know they're considered quite good by good players, but I typically ignore them for the sole reason that I'm shit with grenades. I'm not good with them. I find like they have way too much bounce. Like they have a very aggressive bounce, and I can never land them where I want. But I feel like they were very effective in these two specific situations because I don't think they were expecting it. I think they were expecting some kind of like peak fighting. And if you just like chuck a couple grenades, it's not so much that you're going to get the kill with the grenade itself, but you're really going to tilt your opponent and throw them off balance and have them in panic mode where they're kind of just running and jumping, and they're going to focus completely on just escaping the blast radius of that grenade rather than positioning properly or building up in front of you so they can get a height advantage on you. So in these two circumstances, it worked fairly well. You see that I did eventually ditch the grenades. I know a lot of people like them for busting down forts, especially if you haven't been lucky enough to get a minigun or a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher RPG. But I just can't do it. I can't get them to arc into a base to put pressure inside the base, and I also can't get them to sit or land against a base to like blow the facade of the base away. I've had real trouble mastering that skill, so for the most part I've just sort of given up on it. 80%, 90% of my kills come from the classic AR and shotgun combos. If they're mid, try and tap them a couple times and then get in close, aggressive play, and get the shotguns. The shotguns most of all. Fortnite is made by Epic, which was the company that worked on Gears of War, and I played a lot of Gears of War 3 back in the day. I loved Gears of War 3, and I loved the third-person shotgun Nasher battles. So that does kind of translate a little bit, I think. Like I said, I still get nervous and completely fudge some shotgun fights now and then. Oh, excuse me, I'm terribly busy person in my real life. I'm recording a commentary for YouTube that 17 people might see. Yeah, so I do flub shotgun fights. It's not rare, it's not uncommon. But I definitely think there is a little bit of muscle memory and a little bit of like a carryover from my days of Gears of War. So yeah, most of my kills, shotgun. Moderate amount of kills come from the assault rifle, and now and then I'll pepper in a sniper kill. I get a couple this game. I was lucky enough that they were easy targets. I have been getting consistently better with the sniper. I'm definitely not amazing, but I'm not completely outclassed in every sniper fight like I was when I first started playing this game. Holy shit, those peak sniper fights, man, I didn't win any for the longest time. But I finally started to get my footing a little bit and started to understand the flow of how those fights go a little bit better. And now it's just a matter of knowing when to peak, when not to peak. Now, many of you may be thinking it's unwise to engage with this guy, and I have no intention of engaging with him here. What I just did is something that I I like to do actually fairly often. I like to pop a shot. If I hit him and get the elimination, that's great. But even if I don't, getting sniped in this game, there's always like a certain anxiety in Fortnite where somebody's watching you. And my tip is that somebody is always watching you. That anxiety you feel in like the back of your mind is probably correct. But hearing that snipe off like a bit of cover beside you or whatever, even if it doesn't hit you, really kind of irks you and puts you on edge. So even though I just took one pop shot at that guy, I'm totally comfortable with taking that shot, being fine with whether or not it connects, and then just going about my business. He's far enough that I don't think he's going to like straight pursue me. He probably didn't know exactly where that shot came from. I wasn't on the highest ground possible. I was in sort of like the middling part of the high ground there. So he might be assuming that it came from the very top of the mountain. In any case, I think it's going to rattle him a little bit, and maybe that makes it more difficult for him to get out of the storm right now. Maybe it makes him freak out and kind of turtle up in that base. Now here's an example of taking some fire. Now what I just did is the most simple basic skill you can have in Fortnite, but also one of the most important and fundamental, and also one that I've just recently started to get a handle on. I've never played any kind of shooter game where there was like a building mechanic involved. It's probably the same for a lot of people who transitioned into this game. But it's taken me a lot of conscious effort to not just firefight in the open or use a tree for cover. Anything. The thing that I would typically do in Gears or in Call of Duty was always my immediate go-to. I wouldn't build. I wouldn't do like even the quick 1x1 structure, 4 walls around you with a ramp up. I'm trying to get to a place where as soon as I take fire, I don't look where it's coming from. I don't try and snap my gun to where it's coming from. I immediately cover myself. I'm trying. I still don't do it all the time. I've got a lot of ingrained video game stuff that I need to shake for adjustments to this game. Now I obviously heard a firefight from 2 people trying to make their way into the storm. So my favorite thing in this game to do is just clean up. I think that's one of the best ways to be effective. Engaging with another person is something I do a lot. I'm not a passive gamer. I'm really not a passive gamer. I've always played aggressively. Back in Call of Duty, I never camped. I never even played defensively. I was just run and gun, fast, all over the place. So there is still a part of me that's like that, for sure. But I've noticed that when I do that, I get killed a lot. And if it's not by the person that I am engaging with, it's by somebody who is part of the cleanup crew, who hears those shots from far away and just beelines their way over to it. And the designers did a really great job in this game with like location-based audio. You can really kind of pinpoint where things are taking place. So if you and another guy are lighting each other up, and even if you spend 10 or 15 seconds, and that's pretty quick for a fight in this game, I think. Unless you completely catch them out and drop them before they can defend themselves, it is not hard for a one-on-one fight in this game to really stretch out and end up taking 30 seconds or 45 seconds with 2 people sort of base building, getting the height advantage on one another. That inevitably, by the time you finish up, somebody is moving in based on the sound of your fight. Because you're probably not going to fight an entire thing with a silenced weapon. And even if you do, your opponent probably isn't going to respond the same way. So somebody's going to come in for the cleanup. You've obviously probably taken some damage. You've eaten a couple shots. And it's always right when you're slapping a couple potions down, trying to get your shields back, or bandaging, or using a med kit, whatever. Somebody's just going to sweep in, like I did to that poor guy that you just saw. He was trying to heal up, and there's just a quick, easy sniper headshot. He had no way to even know I was there or defend himself. And so I would suggest to you guys, really start to get comfortable with the role of cleanup crew. And don't be the first to engage. Kind of play a little more conservatively, a little more defensively. And most of your fights should occur at the ass end of someone else's fight. It's a little dirty, it's a little underhanded, but hey man, we're not here to make friends. We're not here to be ambassadors of the one true way of being an honorable gamer. We're here to get that victory royale, and if you want to do that, sometimes you got to play a little bit sneaky. Got to be a bit of a dickhead to people, but that's just the way it is, man. So as you can see, I didn't run through Tilted Towers there. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. Tilted Towers is my least favorite place in the entire game. You do not survive Tilted Towers. It's neat in that you can sort of play a game within a game there. You can drop in playing Fortnite and have a TDM in Tilted Towers at the beginning of the match. That's probably why the first third of people drop off the player count so fast is from tilted towers alone. This guy, he breaks the cardinal rule, man. I knew someone was in here. There's a base built up. It's in a really nice spot with a good lay of the land, some nice high ground. So I figured someone was probably there. And he broke the cardinal rule, which is never keep your fucking head still for more than like a second. And even that's pushing it. Somebody is always watching you. It doesn't matter if there's only 10 players left. Just bank on the fact that somebody's watching you and somebody sees you. And unless you're completely surrounded and nobody around you could potentially have higher ground, do not stay still. You'll see a lot of times when I'm doing like peak fights, it doesn't matter if the person that I'm peeking against has their head down. I'm always assuming that somebody else has their eye on that fight, and I'm always trying to like stutter around a little bit, try to be unpredictable. The simple left, right is better than nothing, but it's also very predictable. And if somebody's got a bolt action trained on your head, they're just going to wait for that pattern to normalize, and then they're going to capitalize on that, and they're going to blow your brains out the back of your skull, and you're going to be stuck spectating them, probably dancing or, you know, doing an insulting emote after their headshot of you, which is never a good feeling. Right here, we're going to branch into my weakest part of the game, but also a part of the game that is fairly essential, and that is the forting near the end game. Now, I know it's not 100% essential, and I know you can sort of play it sneaky, and I do sort of a combination of that in this game, and typically that's the route I go. But considering this base was already sort of put together and is in a good position, I'm within the eye, the next eye of the storm. I'm on some nice high ground with a good lay of the land. And unrelated, but you have to apologize for my clumsy building. As I said, this is the weak part of my game. I'm not terrific at building yet, at forting up. But it did seem to me like a good spot and a good time to do it. And sometimes you do this and you kind of you hope you get lucky with the storm locations, like the next storm. But yeah, all things considered, I decided I would go this route. I did end up getting a little unlucky with the storm, but things did kind of turn out. Because I'm so comfortable endgame, being very mobile, I feel like a lot of people will get endgame and always fort up and fight from their forts, and their fort game is very strong. But if, for whatever reason, they get pushed out, this guy tried to pull some sneaky shit. And I fucked up. That looks like maybe I tried some clever stuff to shoot the ramp out from under him. That is not the case. I'll tell you that 100%. I was trying to shoot him. I whiffed it super hard and missed, and had to put myself in danger by jumping down to clean him up. Fortunately for me, he was a little disoriented, I think, from the fall and not expecting it. His big mistake there, just to let you know, is that he ramped up to my base with metal when my base is all made out of brick. You can really kind of sneak something by people. This is me again, like I was trying to smack my way through, but then I remembered you could edit stuff, and I'm just trying to fill the hole behind me so people can't get up easy. Again, my base work is clumsy. You'll have to forgive me for that. But yeah, if you can really catch people out in this game. If they're slapping up a brick base, they get so used to hearing the sound of the brick building and coming together that if you ramp up quickly with brick as well, or whatever material, as long as you match their material, their brain isn't going to send out like that red flag warning signal saying that somebody is like invading the base, because your brain is going to naturally assume, when you have so much on your mind, your brain's going to naturally assume that it's just still the sound of your base coming together, because it does take a while for all your bricks to slap into place. So he may have had a much more successful run at coming in aggressively. I took a shot there. That's unfortunate. I heard the shots below me. I was trying to peek down, see if I could maybe get a cheeky couple taps with the AR or even an RPG one shot. But there's a guy looks like southeast of me who's based up and doing sort of a similar thing to me. But yeah, no, as I was saying, if you're gonna try and build into somebody's base, especially endgame when they're putting a lot of stuff together, try and use the same material as them. It's gonna work out a lot better for you 9 times out of 10. Now here, this is a questionable decision, blasting the rockets. Part of it is me just wanting to get him back for hitting me. I was a little cheesed that he sniped me. The other part is what you see right now, and this was an intentional decision and something that I do fairly often. I've got such like a big base there. It looks like I'm pretty hunkered in, so I will fire off some rockets or some minigun fire or some snipes to try and like draw their attention, and then I'll just dip out of that base. And you're actually going to see this guy, he's still firing rockets toward my base. He's still assuming I'm there. So this actually worked out in my favor really well. He probably should have maybe clued in because there's rocket fire coming from another area. Luckily for me, he just pummeled that base. I wasn't even in it anymore. Excuse me. Obviously, this guy I hit a snipe on. I was kind of in a bad position to follow up. He got behind some trees. But right now, I was just in aggression mode, so much so that I ignored that drop, which probably would have been fairly safe to get. And honestly, these guys just sort of fucked themselves big time. Like, I was sort of handed this win. They're obviously battling in the storm right now. Maybe they didn't realize, or maybe they thought they could, like, nab it, be aggressive. And my final thing there was just to sort of back out of the storm, keep my eye on it. I knew he was in that direction, and if the storm didn't kill him, I was ready to just tap him with the assault rifle while he was sort of defenseless running away. And that's a victory royale. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more. I'm playing this game all the time anyway. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.